Welcome to the Warfare Parenting Podcast. I'm your host, Lane Lawson Craft. Join us here every other Monday. Now, let's get into today's podcast. Welcome to Warfare Parenting. This is an important episode. We've been doing the whole topic of self-harm, specifically cutting too. And we've had Dena Yohe. Hello, Dena.
Hi, Lane.
And she has been with us all throughout to help us know and to understand self-harm. Then she shared her personal testimony about the victory her daughter had. And today we want to help you. We want to give you resources and talk about how you can find victory too. So Dena, you were saying you had quite a few resources that you'd like to share today.
Yes, and we had a very difficult time finding any back when we started on this journey. So it's taken me a while to find them, but I am eager to share them with you. Well, first, I want you to know that in my book, You Are Not Alone, Hope for Hurting Parents of Troubled Kids, I have a vast array of resources listed in the back by topic. And we have self-injury, also called self-harm, and self-mutilation. There's a great book by Nancy Alcorn called Cut. She's the founder of a ministry called Mercy Ministries that helps young women, teens on up to, I believe, 19 or maybe early 20s, who are struggling with a wide variety of issues. And they have several inpatient facilities where they help them. She has a couple of books and some great information on her website, Mercy Multiplied. And these are listed in the back of my book. Another great place to go is called SAFE, S-A-F-E Alternatives. It's Self-Abuse Finally Ends. Another one is Self-Mutilators Anonymous. And it's selfmutilatorsanonymous.org. It sounds like it's for the individual, and it is, but you can also get a lot of help there to just understand more what this is. And in my book, there is a section where Renee writes to you what she would want to say to a parent who has just learned that their child is cutting or harming themselves in some way. It's very helpful to get her perspective and to see through her eyes, which might be exactly what your child is thinking and feeling. Another couple of great resources. This book is called A Bright Red Scream, and it's written by Mara Lee Strong. It's also listed in the back of my book. It's a much more in-depth book written by a therapist, again, to help you have more of a deeper grasp and understanding of this issue, because as we said, it's very complicated and it is not easy to understand. Another book that also is written to help moms connect better with daughters is called Mom, I Hate My Life by Sharon Hirsch, H-E-R-S-H. And Sharon has written a number of books, Mom, Everyone Else Does, Mom, Everyone Hates Me, Mom, Just Leave Me Alone, from experience in her own life. But she writes to really help you figure out, how do I even talk about this? What do I say? How can I connect when my daughter is saying these things to me and I have no idea what to do or how to respond? My daughter is very good at winning arguments. And so she could intimidate me where I would just be speechless, tongue-tied, I didn't know what to say. She offers a lot of help because, as my daughter said, really, it's all about being brave and courageous enough to ask hard questions. And sometimes we don't want to know the answers, right? But to just wait and listen. Yes. Right? 2 ears, 1 mouth. Right. Listen and not freak out, but just say, that must be hard. Tell me more about that. The counselor once said to my husband, go in her room, sit on the floor, get lower than her. You're not as intimidating, and ask her, because she liked music a lot, play your favorite song for me today. And he didn't really want to hear it. play it for me. I'd like to listen to it with you, and then tell me why you like it. And she was really surprised. And he did that, and it was hard, but it began to open up the door. And that's what you want. Anything that will help you begin to talk, or them talk and you listen. Another great resource is a book by Stacy Fleury called Turning the Tide of Emotional Turbulence. And this is devotions for parents with teens in crisis. And she has a great website, and she writes a lot to help you process all the frightening and traumatic and upsetting things that you're going through. Another one that I really like is listed in the back of her. She has a lot of great resources in the back of her book too. And there's a website called NAMI.org, and it stands for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And I'm not saying that people who cut themselves are mentally ill, but they may be struggling with depression, anxiety, and so on. And on NAMI's website, they are very, very well known and respected as the go-to source for information on anything affecting your mental health.
Right.
You can go there, you can type in self-harm, self-injury, whatever you can remember, and you'll find a lot of information to just educate yourself. That's the best thing you can do. Just keep searching the internet, and they are a great source of information to help you
Dena, I want to
understand.
say here, just so people understand that might not have caught episodes 1 and 2 yet, that Dena has experienced this. She now, is the co-founder of a ministry that helps parents that are struggling with young adults and teens. And so these are very valuable. These are things that she personally is telling us we need. And I'm going to let y'all know that I'll have all of these in the show notes. So you will have the links and the information specifically to get this. I want them to know too, Dena, about your website real quick and your book.
Great. Yes, thank you. Our website is hope for hurtingparents.com. Is hopeforhurtingparents.com. And we offer a whole lot of resources there, and online support groups, plus in-person groups, my blog. But my book I wrote just for parents like you, not just sharing all the gory details, but how we coped, how we processed and went through all of the difficulties we did with our daughter that started with self-injury, but then grew and developed into more serious issues with alcohol and drugs. So this book is to help you know it's not just you, and that you can actually be okay. You can have peace and even joy again, even if your child is never okay. And then we published our material to help people start support groups. We have a facilitator guide and a parent notebook to go with it. And it's just everything you need to know. Plus we have 2 teammates who help anyone that wants to start a group with that process.
Well, I want to talk about that real quickly, because I think your support groups are one of the most amazing resources. Tell us a little bit about what your support groups do, and if people are interested about joining them or maybe starting one.
Yes, the groups are run a lot like Al-Anon or Nar-Anon. And if you're not familiar with that, it's not a place to come and figure out how to change or fix your troubled teen or adult child. It's a place to come and get help for you. When my daughter got out of one of her rehabs, I was all about trying to help be sure she was doing well. What do I need to make sure you're doing? And I asked her, what do you need from me right now? I was expecting her to tell me, make sure I've got a sponsor, be sure I'm going to meetings, all these things to be sure she was doing. And she said, Mom, I need you to work your own recovery. When you do that, I can tell, and it helps me. So that's what our groups are all about, helping us process our emotions, our feelings in a confidential group setting, usually no more than 12 people, where we know that we're not going to be looked down on or judged. No one's going to preach at us, lecture us, give us advice. We're going to share with each other, but it's not just a gripe session. We're going to talk about a topic that's going to help us: grief and loss, fear, anger, resentment, things that we've learned over these 20 some odd years are our core issues that we struggle with, that we've got to work through if we're going to have our own sanity back and be well enough to function in life. So yes, our materials are available on Amazon, but you can get them through our website. They're very affordable. Our facilitator guide has enough material for a whole year if a group meets just twice a week, and it's only $35. The parent notebook that goes with it is $15, but they don't have to have one. It's not teacher oriented.
I was going to say, how's it designed?
It's designed about as easy as you can be. You don't have to have any experience with a group or teaching. You're not teaching. It's designed where it's question guided. It tells you exactly, say this, ask that. So it's all led by questions. You ask a question and you let the group talk about it. And you ask a follow-up question and they read some content. Oh, here's 4 steps to help you overcome fear. Let's read those. They read them and then talk about them. And it's just very, very easy. And again, we and our teammates, 2 moms who've also been on similar journeys, who've been doing this for a number of years, they help however you need or want so that you can start a group. You can do it on your own, like we did, out of your home or a restaurant or an office, or you can do it through a church. Churches often love offering places to meet, but it's just a great opportunity to even draw other parents going through something similar, and everyone has something different, but we have the same common thread of we're hurting, right. And we can't make it better.
And it's all faith-based.
Yes, that's a big piece. It's faith-based. Yes. So it's not a Bible study, but we do bring in scriptures because that's where we found our hope and strength. And it's not a prayer meeting, but we do take time to pray for one another and for our children.
Well, this is so wonderful. And the reason this is so powerful today, Dena, is, you were right. There are not a lot of resources, particularly faith-based resources in this particular area. That's why I thought it was so critical to do this topic about self-harm, because we needed to offer parents, 1, hope, yes, that God can heal anything, and 2, that you have these resources from years ministering yourself. I love to say you were in the trenches. You help parents from all over the world who are hurting. So I just, again, want to thank you for your time, your wisdom, and for your servant's heart and your love for all of us parents that really have been in a battle. And thank you for sharing your victory. And again, I love you, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Warfare Parenting. I hope you found some encouragement or helpful info today to help you on your journey. If you have a specific topic you'd like for me to talk about or a guest you'd like for me to have on the show, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. Listen, I love connecting with you, and so I've made it really easy for us to stay connected. Text Hi Lane to 55444. That's HILAINE to 55444. Also, be sure to follow the podcast so you never miss an episode, and leave me a rate and review. I would be so grateful. I'll see you next week.